Congratulations on a 6-3, 6-4 win over Alina Svitolina.
Rock Creek Park does not sound like this. Not for a Friday night quarterfinal. Not for an unseeded qualifier ranked 28th in the world. But the second the ball left Alina Svitolina's racket on match point and drifted straight into the net, a wobble error from a former WTA Finals champion, the noise that erupted was anything but polite Washington applause. It was a deafening Filipino roar echoing through the American capital for 21-year-old Alex Eala. The crowd was already on its feet before Svitolina even lifted her head. Does Alex Eala break into the top 20 before the US Open, or will the rest of the tour finally figure her out? Let me know your prediction in the comments. Just 6 days before that unforgettable ovation, Eala was still battling through qualifying at the Mubadala City DC Open. 5 weeks earlier, she had already defeated this very opponent on a completely different continent, on a completely different surface, by the exact same score, 6-3, 6-4, in Berlin. Many people dismissed that victory with the same excuse. It was on grass, they said. Different conditions. Different surface. Just a one-off. Now Svitolina, the number 2 seed, stepped onto a hard court in Washington with the opportunity to prove that theory. The night before the match, she spoke to WTA cameras with calm confidence. Tomorrow is a new surface, a new country, a new city. It's a new challenge, she said. In tennis language, that was the polite way of saying, Berlin was different. She believed this rematch would reset the story. She had every reason to feel that way. Svitolina was the reigning Italian Open champion, a 5-time Grand Slam semi-finalist, and one of the most experienced competitors on tour. On a faster hard court, with the number 2 seed beside her name, everything suggested the matchup would swing back in her favor. Even the rankings supported that expectation. The number 2 seed against a qualifier ranked 28th should have been a comfortable script. The problem was that Alex Eala had already read that script and arrived in Washington ready to tear it apart. The statistic that quietly settled the debate was simple. Eala won 24 return points. Svitolina won only 13. Against one of the world's best baseliners, whose entire game depends on controlling rallies from the back of the court, that difference was not just significant. It was decisive. Eala did not overpower Svitolina. She outthought her, anticipated her patterns, and stayed one step ahead. Plenty of young players can hit the ball hard. The greatest players understand the game before the ball even arrives. Then came the defining moment that many people overlooked because the highlights focused on the finish. In the 8th game of the opening set, Svitolina earned 3 break points and stood 1 game away from leveling the score. Eala responded by winning 5 straight points without hesitation. No panic. No lucky escape. Just complete composure under maximum pressure. At that moment, the player everyone still called an underdog showed the mentality of a champion. Then the second set seemed to follow the expected script. Svitolina secured a break and moved ahead 3-1. Experience appeared ready to take over. Instead, Eala flipped the entire match. She reeled off 3 consecutive games and captured 9 of the final 12 points. The supposed underdog became the closer, while the decorated veteran struggled to find answers. That was not luck. It was another chapter in a pattern that has been building for months. First came Miami, then Berlin, then Wimbledon, now Washington. These are no longer isolated upsets. They are milestones in the rise of one of the fastest improving players on the WTA Tour. Fans who believed in Alex Eala long before the headlines can finally point to the results as proof. Then came match point. One final exchange. One last swing from Svitolina. The ball floated into the net, and the stadium exploded. Just 1 point earlier, Eala's forehand had clipped the line by the smallest possible margin, described by WTA.com as only a fraction of a millimeter. Sometimes that tiny margin is the difference between a brief hot streak and the arrival of a true championship contender. On that night in Washington, Alex Eala proved she belongs among the very best. Match point number 3 arrives. Swiatek tosses up the second serve, and suddenly it happens. Double fault. Game over. History made. The receipt that places this achievement into historical perspective comes from the WTA itself. According to the tour's official statistics, Alex Eala has recorded 6 victories over top 10 players during the 2026 season, more than any other player on the WTA Tour. Not Aryna Sabalenka. Not Coco Gauff. Not Elena Rybakina. Not Jasmine Paolini. A 21-year-old ranked number 28 in the world has collected more top 10 wins this season than anyone else on the tour. If you want to understand what that really says about her future, you don't need another television analyst. You need the people who have watched her development from the very beginning in Mallorca. According to comments made earlier this year by her former coach Joan Bosch, Rafael Nadal took a personal interest in Alexandra Eala's progress during her years at the academy. Nadal has never been known for casually attaching his name to young players. Throughout his career, he has earned a reputation for supporting only those he genuinely believes have exceptional potential. Tony Nadal, the legendary coach who helped build one of the greatest careers in tennis history, has also worked with Eala during her development and has praised both her mentality and her shot-making ability, describing her as a player capable of reaching the sport's highest level. When people with that level of experience speak so highly of a young player, the standing ovation in Washington suddenly feels less like a surprise and more like a moment that had been building for years. The WTA itself has also embraced her remarkable rise. After her victory over Svitolina in Berlin, the tour's social media channels celebrated the performance with the nickname the Eala Express. By the time she produced another statement victory in Washington, it no longer felt like a breakthrough. It felt like confirmation. Southeast Asia has rarely seen a women's tennis player performing at this level on the biggest stages, and every tournament seems to expand her audience even further. The timing could not be more significant. On Saturday, August 1st, as highlights from Washington spread across social media around the world, Eala prepares for a semi-final showdown against former world number 1 Naomi Osaka. It will be their first career meeting, featuring one of the sport's biggest stars against the player who has defeated more top 10 opponents than anyone else in 2026. Many are already calling it one of the most anticipated all-Asian semi-final matchups in recent WTA history. And beyond Washington, an even bigger stage is waiting. The US Open begins later in August, and every seeded player will be hoping to avoid seeing Alex Eala's name in their section of the draw. Currently ranked number 28 and continuing to climb, she is already being viewed by many as a genuine threat capable of challenging the world's elite. The evidence continues to grow with every tournament. Just 25 days before Washington, Eala walked off Wimbledon after a hard-fought 3-set defeat to Jasmine Paolini in the round of 16, 6-4, 4-6, 6-3. There was no panic, no dramatic reaction, and no excuses. Speaking after her victory over Swiatek, Eala explained her mindset with complete confidence. She said she had no intention of changing her entire game because she believed she could compete just as successfully on clay as she could on hard courts. She returned to Mallorca, continued practicing, fought her way through qualifying in Washington, earned her place in the main draw, survived a demanding 3-set battle against Christina Buxer, and then defeated the tournament's second seed. That is how champions respond. They answer with performances, not promises. Look back at everything that has happened. A double fault on match point from one of the tour's most accomplished players. The new surface, new challenge narrative erased by another identical straight sets victory. 6 wins over top 10 opponents in a single season, the highest total on the WTA Tour. A blockbuster semi-final against Naomi Osaka waiting next. Alex Eala is no longer simply one of the sport's brightest young prospects. She has become one of the most dangerous competitors on the WTA Tour, and Washington may be remembered as the tournament where the rest of the tennis world finally accepted that reality. The Filipino fans who believed in her when she was ranked outside the top 50 were never exaggerating. They simply recognized her potential before everyone else did. Now the rest of the tennis world is catching up. So here's the question. Will Alex Eala break into the top 20 before the US Open? Or will the tour finally find a way to slow her momentum? Share your prediction in the comments, tell us how far you think she will go at Flushing Meadows, and make your pick before the semi-final changes the conversation once again. Subscribe for more updates because the biggest chapters of Alex Eala's journey may still be ahead.